guys, it's Ariana. Welcome back to my channel. So for tonight's video, we're going to be reading some more scary stories. As per usual, I have my wicked candle in here, making the home smell like caramel apples. If you're interested in this makeup look, I will be posting it on my YouTube shorts, and it will also be posted on TikTok. If you don't have TikTok, you can go over to my YouTube shorts and watch the tutorial on how I did this look. It was really fun, really easy, and I don't know, I'm just having a lot of fun doing the short form content lately. So if you guys are interested in that type of content, I read creepy stories while doing my makeup on those platforms as well. So this is actually a story using my own voice this time. So that's kind of fun and kind of cool. So we're going to be reading some more creepy stories. These ones are going to be from the True Scary Story section, and I'm very excited to jump into them because they are very creepy. So this one is from the Reddit author snazzy_cowberry. And again, it's from the True Scary Story section, and it's titled, "I need to know if my true crime knowledge is getting to me or if I was actually in danger as a kid." This was when I was between the ages of 3 and maybe 8. We had a small farm as my dad worked on the main farm, and we had to bottle baby calves and yearlings on our property. We also had 3 pet cows, former bottle babies that I, being an animal lover, absolutely fell in love with. I remember my dad working days and days, any free time, on 3 holes in the back shed. He had tore up the floor and dug 3 very deep holes. He had me and my 2 brothers lay in them often. My brothers being 1 year older than me and one being 3 years younger. My younger brother would actually play in the holes with his little Tonka trucks and help Dad dig the bigger ones. But one day we had a terrible storm that took off the roof of the old shed and flooded the holes completely. And then he stopped digging them, didn't even try to get the water out of them. Whenever I would ask why he was digging them, he would always say they were for the cows. But 1, the cows were far too big, and 2, they were all very healthy. Even young me knew this was bullshit. I'm almost 20 now and a true crime lover. To anyone else, this would sound suspicious, right? Not just me. My dad never actually hurt us, and we moved out of the house when I was 8 and never really spoke of this since. The cows were fine, and we sold them to our neighbors. Am I overthinking this? If I bring it up to my dad, he probably won't even remember, as the substances have messed with his memory. And even if he did, he wouldn't own up to doing anything to us. Advise, please, because this has kept me up at night far too many times. That is a really weird situation. I don't know. You were very young at the time, so I mean, like, it could have just been your mind playing tricks on you, and maybe it was very, very normal, and he was digging it maybe for food for the cows or something, but I can't imagine he was digging them as like graves for the cows because, like you said, they were way too small, and he kept using your guys' bodies as references to how big they were. That just sounds very suspicious. I don't know. I have no advice to give you other than that is fucking creepy. I would ask him. I don't know. Let us know. If you update this post, let us know because I'm very curious as to what the actual fuck was going on in that situation. That is really weird. If anyone has any ideas, let us know in the comments down below because that is just fucking bizarre. This one is from the Explanation number 1 author, and it is titled The Man at the Door. I was around 11 when this happened, and I still get scared by this. Back when I was 11, I lived on a busy block. I would babysit for the bartenders who had kids. It was easy money as the bar was right down the road. And once they got off, they could just come and get the kids. One night, I had 3 kids more than usual, but it was a Friday, so I completely understood. I had the kids laying down upstairs and decided to watch a movie. The way my living room was laid out was the TV was on the wall, then the couch in between the doors and the windows. I had laid my phone down and grabbed the remote to turn on the TV, and that's when I saw him in the reflection. Behind me, looking through the door, it looked to be a 45-year-old man just staring into my house. I placed the remote down and pretended not to see him, and I picked my phone back up. The first thing I did was I called my mom, who, at the time, was one of the bartenders. I tried to make it look like I was scrolling TikTok, when in reality, I was watching this man's every fucking move. When I saw him turn around to leave, I was given some sort of relief, until I heard a noise. The bushes at the side of the house were torn through. The side of my house was a big window, low enough and wide enough to climb in and out of. Without thinking straight, I dropped my phone, screaming, "He's trying to get in." Then ran to my kitchen, grabbed the biggest knife I could find, and ran back to the window. Right in front of me was now the man. He didn't even seem surprised I had met him at the window. I watched him angrily yelling. Looking back on it now, I was maybe 5'2", 11 years old, and could barely stand straight. He obviously wasn't scared as he reached for the window, trying to still pull it up. I slammed it back down and locked the top. He just looked disappointed, like I was somehow in the wrong. Just then, you could see bright lights and a man shouting at the man. Apparently, my mom and the other bartenders had people listening to our conversations. As I shouted and dropped the phone, they began panicking and tried to leave immediately to run to our aid. I don't remember much after that, just unlocking the door to my mom hugging me instantly and the other bartenders running to check on their kids. I still don't know how long he was standing there just watching us. Update. So I recently asked my mom if she remembers the whole incident, and she said that she couldn't remember it. However, my little sister said she could and had a few more things to share. While she was supposed to be asleep in her room, she was in fact playing around and watching her tablet. Her room was above the porch and she could see the man from her window, and he wasn't there as long as I thought he was. She said she saw him walk up to the porch and thought it was our neighbor or maybe our uncle, until she heard me scream. That's when she got frightened and snuck to the stairs and sat on them waiting for me. She heard me scream at the man and then got a better view of the man that came to help us. He was known in our neighborhood for being quiet and keeping to himself, but frequently went to the bar where my mom worked. He was also an ex-military man and loved to box. My sister said he saw him run down the street towards the man. The man backed off from the window immediately as the man yelled and had his phone flashlight pointing at him. He ran after him to the alley where he threw a few punches, and the old couple called the cops and came out for about 40 minutes getting the story from our neighbors, because the time they got there, the guy was gone and nothing could really be done. This is where I can't remember much, as it's been so exhausted after the whole incident, and I passed out around 2 a.m. My mom just got home and hugged me. My little sister was crying, and our neighbor stayed out on the porch till my mom got there. The next day, my mom went and found the actual babysitter to watch us when she had busy nights, and she didn't see the man ever again. That's what my sister told me, and I hadn't even known that she had been awake while this happened. Oh my God, that's really creepy. I don't understand why somebody would just come up to your house and watch you. That's just so weird. Like, people freak me out. Like, I love that we read paranormal stories and monster stories and like all of the like no sleep stories where some of them are fictional and some of them are real, where you guys are actually haunted and it's fucking terrifying. But the ones where it's like, let's not meet again and it's real people doing really weird things just freaks me out even more than the monster ones, because people are fucked. Like, it's just so strange. Oh my God, I fucking hate that. This is from the Spoopy Cjades section. It is from the Reddit author Brownie Babe, and this one's titled, "There Was Something in Our Hotel Room." I thought I'd share a story from when I went to Venice with my mom. We were traveling around Italy at the time, and we stopped for one night at a really old hotel just outside Venice, so that we could explore the city the next day. The hotel was super medieval looking on the inside. They had old elevators that were very small and could fit only maybe 2 people. And there were portraits and old paintings everywhere. The walls were wallpapered in some old medieval pattern, and there were these Roman statues all around different places of the hotel. To be honest, the hotel was quite small, but definitely gave the old Italian vibe that it was going for. Me and my mom shared a room, which was just a double, so we shared a bed. The room honestly looked like Henry VIII's bedroom or something like that, to paint a picture. So after we unpacked, we explored the town and made our way back to our room around 10:30. We both got into our PJs and put on the TV for about an hour before we went to sleep. At this point, there was nothing creepy about the room, except for the overall vibe of the hotel, which for me was very creepy. It was very old looking and I didn't like it. But really, nothing happened up to this point. We both drifted off to sleep, and as usual, I woke up late at night to go to the bathroom. I got up, went to the washroom, did my business, and came out to my mom sitting at the end of my bed, just staring at the bathroom. I laughed and I asked her what she was doing. It was really dark in the room, so it was hard to see her, but there was a figure of a person at the end of the bed. When she didn't answer me, I made my way over to the side of the bed and got into the covers. She still didn't move. I asked again, "What are you doing? Why are you just sitting there?" I knew she had to be because I could feel the weight of the person on my legs. I asked again, and it happened so fast because I went to touch what I thought was my mom at the end of the bed, and my hand just dropped through and landed on top of the covers. My actual mom woke up beside me, started yelling for me to get off her legs. I was also yelling, and I realized that it wasn't her I was looking at. I told her I was right next to her, and we both started panicking. Then she asked, "What the hell was that?" We rushed to turn on the light. When the light came on, there was nothing there. What the actual fuck? We were terrified. I really believe in it, and I don't like to mess with ghosts. I pleaded with her if we could change rooms, but it was already about 3 a.m, and we were only supposed to be there for one night, so she said we had to ride it out until morning. We both checked around the room and there was nothing. We even looked at the closet, opened doors to the hallway, and looked everywhere. I was too afraid to go into the hallway myself, and I don't think reception was open anymore, even if I wanted to change rooms. We talked about it a bit, and we just tried to research the hotel. None of us plan on going back to sleep anytime soon, but when we researched the hotel, nothing came up about this hotel in particular. But it is said that Venice itself is known to be very haunted. I didn't know this. We searched it, and many hotels have had reported ghost sightings, and figures can be seen walking around Venice at night. We slept with the light on for the rest of the night. Oh my God, thank you so much for allowing me to read your story. That is so creepy. And honestly, I've never actually been to Italy or Venice or any of those places, but I knew that they were haunted. How did you not know that? That's like common knowledge, in my opinion. But that's still really freaking creepy, and thank you so much for allowing me to read it. This one is, again, from the Spoopy Cjades section, and is from the author Parker-Country-6535, and it is titled Shadow Figure in My Closet and Other Stories from This House. My family and I moved into a fairly new townhouse when I was in middle school, and I never really had any weird experiences up until I was about early high school. For starters, my best friend and I were laying in bed late one night, and we were just laughing and reminiscing on memories when we both suddenly got super quiet. We looked at each other and then into the same corner above my closet. I kid you not, there was a shadow figure that looked as if it was mounting the wall. I don't know how to explain it other than the way the mother is in the movie Hereditary, which has happened before that movie even came out. But the scene where the mother is in the corner of the ceiling, staring down at the sun, reminds me exactly of this moment. It was terrifying. We both just stared at it before confirming that we were both seeing it. We were too terrified to move, and we wanted to run out of the room, but we would have to walk past that corner. So we just huddled up against each other, and eventually somehow we fell asleep. So with that being the first time I saw this thing, it happened again about a year later. My mom was walking up the stairs to her room. My room and my parents' room were the only doors upstairs, and I was following behind her, when suddenly I got a weird dizzying sensation and stopped to regain my balance. When I looked at my mom, she was gone. It had only felt like seconds, but I called out for her and she responded sleepily from her bedroom. I went in there and I asked her how she got to bed so quickly. She replied and told me that she's been in bed for a few hours and she hasn't even been up. At first, I thought she was fucking with me, but I quickly realized she was just as confused as I was. I went to turn to leave and go into my own room when I saw a dark, tall figure dart past me and into my closet, which was open at the time. I was terrified to say the least, but I went and shut the closet door, put on a lighthearted show, and I tried to go to sleep. It was around this time that I started having the most intense sleep paralysis and night terrors. I won't go into too much detail, but it became a nightly event. Some of these things that happened included a burning man running into my room, screaming in pain, a shadow figure coming to sit on my chest and choke me, a shadow figure who would pace back and forth in my bedroom, and my mom coming into my room, and I would feel relief. However, it wasn't actually my mom. It was some entity that resembled her, but would morph into a nightmare. This eventually subsided when my boyfriend moved in with us, and I stopped sleeping alone. I haven't had any sort of sleep paralysis since then, and now that I've moved into a new house, I haven't had a single paranormal experience. The last story from this house might not seem very paranormal, but with the context of these other stories, it always makes me wonder. I was in bed with another one of my best friends when the ceiling light fell and shattered all over the bed over me and my friend. The light bulbs hadn't been changed in a while, so it's not like it wasn't screwed in properly. It straight up fell and landed almost on my fucking head. It just barely missed me. There was not a single explanation that I can think of to this day. I did some research into the house and the surrounding property, but I can never find anything that could explain paranormal phenomena. The weird thing was there used to be tenants of the building that were doing not so great things, and they were raided by the DEA and kicked out. There were some weird residues around the vents that we had to clean when we moved in. Other than that, there wasn't really any problem that could explain supernatural activity. Side note, I also did have this one flickering light in the house, and no matter how many times the light bulbs were replaced, my ceiling light constantly went on and off. But that can just be explained by faulty wiring, I suppose. This house was in a suburban area, which also makes drug labs much crazier, as it was in no way a neighborhood you would expect to find out your neighbor was manufacturing that kind of thing in their bedroom. This concludes my strange strings of events, and I hope you enjoyed reading this. If you do, it's been a while since this all happened, but I do remember it quite vividly, because it was absolutely terrifying. I have always been obsessed with the paranormal, but never experienced anything other than living in that house. I would also occasionally hear people calling for me when no one was home. And I also remember hearing the door unlock and open, but when I came downstairs expecting to find my dad, the door was locked and no one came in. Those stories are so fucking creepy. I can't imagine seeing something on my wall. You and your friend literally both see the same fucking entity just like looking down on you. I'm not actually familiar with the movie that you referenced, the Hereditary movie, but like I'm just imagining it with my own imagination and I have goosebumps. I am sweaty. That is just so fucking creepy. I hate that so much. Holy crap. That is gross. So this is where I'm going to end the video. I did read 2 Let's Not Meet stories and 2 paranormal stories, so I know I usually keep them separate, but I didn't have enough Let's Not Meet stories to make its own video. So I hope you guys do enjoy the shorter stories compiled together like this in one video, because I don't always have long stories to read on my channel. So if you guys have any creepy stories that you want to share with me, please feel free to message me either over Instagram or my email, and I will definitely read your guys' personalized stories. Again, if you're interested in this makeup look, it will either be on my TikTok or it will be posted on the YouTube Shorts area. And you can definitely go show it some love. If you guys made it to the end of the video, please leave me your favorite Halloween emoji. Let's just kick it back to normal. Our favorite Halloween emoji in the comments down below. It lets me know that you guys made it to the end of the video. It also helps me boost my video on the algorithm and get more viewers on my channel and more people subscribing. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys at the next video. Bye.